The world has embraced e-commerce, notwithstanding the first wave of failures. I think the same is true about crypto as a new architecture of finance.
They try to shake me out, but I was born ready. Dropping down the price, then I be getting plenty. They want all your bags and they want all them empty.
The US dollar hits its lowest global reserve share in 32 years. Also, scammers continue to take XRP. Be careful out there. They want them baggies by any means necessary. But first, we pop off with Cointelegraph. Welcome back to more Moon O'Clock News. Good glitches. Now the fear levels are rivaling the FTX collapse and the COVID crash. Fear is at an all-time high. Coinbaro, $2 trillion crypto sell-off erased post-Trump rally. Gains that followed Donald Trump's presidential election victory now have been fully reversed. The global crypto market is now down $2 trillion from its October peak. Did Trump rug pull us? Taking a live look at XRP, currently right around $1.39. Do we have some more downside in store for us before regulations go full throttle? Also, a quick reminder, nothing in this video is financial or investment advice. Please always do your own research. Flare networks, Flare smart accounts are designed to be integrated into existing wallets and exchanges to expand DeFi access by embedding XRP minting and execution flows directly into the XRP ledger wallets. XRP holders can initiate DeFi actions from familiar interfaces and tools they already trust. Flare smart accounts. CoinDesk just in daily successful transactions on the XRP ledger have jumped about 40%, approaching 2.5 million per day, pointing to rising real network usage, even as XRP remains below key moving averages. We got digital asset investor listening close to the words of Giancarlo, one of the smartest people he's met. There will be many who miss the crypto opportunity because they just don't understand history, cycles, and how the new technologies evolve.
I'll give you one other analogy, and that is the 2000 dot-com bubble. I'm looking around the room. There are a few other gray hairs or no hairs like me here that remember the 2000 dot-com bubble. It was a poster child company called Pets.com that failed during it. And I think it was Time Magazine did an article. They called it dot bomb. And they basically said, that's it, e-commerce is never going to happen. Well, in 2000, when Pets.com failed, there was less than 360 million users of e-commerce. Pets.com did not fail because people didn't want to buy pet supplies online. It failed because they didn't want to do so using dial-up modems. They didn't want to enter their credit card information into some dodgy website. And they didn't want to wait 3 weeks for the pet supplies to arrive. The pets might have died by then waiting for the pet food to come. Well, it took the development of Amazon. It took the development of eBay. It took the development of PayPal. It took the development of Amazon delivery. It took the development of 4G and 5G technology to make e-commerce a reality. And it did. By 2010, the number of e-commerce users had grown to almost 2 billion. And by 2020, 4 years ago, it was over 5 billion. It's probably 6 billion today. The world has embraced e-commerce, notwithstanding the first wave of failures. I think the same is true about crypto as a new architecture of finance.
The internet of value is upon us. Lock in. Meanwhile, Crypto Eddie is sad to be notified of people losing their assets to scammers twice this week. I've been notified and both incidents occurred in a Discord group. Please read message from fake support how it occurred. And remember, never download apps or divulge your seed phrases in any manner. Never ever give out your seed phrases. They want your baggies by any means necessary. If they want your keys, it's a scam. Coinbaro 2026 is going to be a banquet for the American people. The economy is taking off.
I think, as I've said many times, 2025 is about setting the table. 2026 is going to be a banquet for the American people. The economy is taking off. We saw 40,000 new construction jobs. Everyone says to me, oh, where are these factory jobs that you planned? And unlike what you and I see in the financial market, you can't push a button and build a factory. There's lead time, but what we are seeing is big commitments to these factories that are going to be built. First, we'll get the construction jobs, and then the factory jobs are going to come. So I think we're going to see the tremendous groundbreakings. I think we're going to see a lot of factory completions this year.
Meanwhile, the US dollar just hit its lowest global reserve share in 32 years. The US dollar now makes up just 56.9% of global reserves, down from 72% at the peak. Central banks are actively cutting dollar exposure as US debt deficits and global trust in long-term dollar stability are getting worse. We got one from Crypto in America. If you're stopping a large institution like that from building crypto products, guess what? A lot of large institutions are going to pay attention and say, well, we don't want to do that either.
Do you think we're in more of one of those prolonged downturns where it's going to be more of maybe a crypto winter? Or is it just maybe one of those cyclical things where it's going to come back up?
Crypto is not over. I just want to point that out. Crypto winters, there were these, catalyzing events. Unfortunately, some of them were, bad actors in the market. Regulation potentially be kind of question marks, and no one really had that confidence to innovate.
Yeah.
I think both of those things combined have second order and third order effects that people don't typically anticipate, which is, well, I was at Facebook building Libra, and if you stop a large institution like that from building crypto products, guess what? A lot of large institutions are going to pay attention and say, well, we don't want to do that either. Then we probably shouldn't. Facebook's already gotten the slap on the wrist. Why should we put our stick our neck out there? So it has these like second order effects. And the third order effect of that is like, well, if there's less money invested by corporates in this industry, then as a function, you're going to have less innovation. It'll be slower. And so we missed out on probably a good half decade of like, not only the first order of effect, which people are like, okay, what are the founders doing? But these like other second and third order effects. So it's been crappy. As a function of that, we're in this like cycle where there isn't a new event or this like, foundation that we would have expected to really come in and support our industry. It's starting to happen. I would have hoped for a lot more of it. The other part that, of course, is kind of not confusing, that we need to pay attention to in this crypto winter, or I do think it is obviously crypto winter, is this is tied to now geopolitical events that we typically did not have in the previous crypto cycles. We are also tied into like, crypto was the bleeding edge. And although there was a lot of emergent tech moving forward, you didn't have, AI as like this shiny new thing to compete with. I mean, just look at all the dollar flows that have gone into AI. And so now crypto is kind of like sidelined for AI. This is a very different crypto cycle, unfortunately. I think it's one that the industry is trying to, reconcile itself with. I think it'll take a lot more to sort of get out of it relative to, what has catapulted folks out of, previous crypto cycles. Okay, no more scammers, right? And so I'm looking at those signals. Luckily, we have those signals with institutions moving in, but it takes time. I think we have, a good 12 to 18 months to see a little bit of a turnaround.
Meanwhile, Hugo says everyone talks about unlocks and switch flipping. This is mostly opium. Yes, technical advances in business development can present gateways to increase utility, but the reality is that transforming utility into usage is deliberate, planned, grinding long-term gain if you have the stomach for it. Duffy, Juan, 414, 54th day, 414, Juan, 414, 414. Dark Defender says XRP rallied in 2017 when BTC's dominance dropped. BTC's dominance will fail like never before and imagine, and be ready for what XRP will do in the second leg. Here's the BTC dominance fall from 2017 and XRP's massive run. Will history repeat this time? And with that being said, never forget, XRP is the North Star.
I've said this now a few times on Twitter, but I want to say it here for this community in my own voice. It may not always be obvious. I want every single person in the XRP family, the XRP army, to know that XRP is the North Star for Ripple. It's our purpose. When we think about what we're doing on Ripple payments, or Ripple Prime, or Ripple Treasury, or custody, or RLUSD, this is all focused on how we can drive utility, trust, and velocity or liquidity around XRP and the XRP ledger. So, things like Ripple payments on the DEX with permissioned domains, Ripple Prime using XRP for collateral and lending, Ripple Treasury we kind of talked about, doing enabled payments around XRP and RLUSD within Treasury management. These are all examples of where we are going to continue to make sure, as we think about Ripple as a platform company for financial infrastructure, that XRP is at the heartbeat of that.
With that being said, is this the institutional dump that we've been waiting for before? The institutional adoption. All I know is the longer it takes, the higher we keep climbing. Appreciate you stopping by and tuning in. Don't forget to smash some likes and subscribers on the way out to help boost those algos. We'll see you at the tippy top. Later. Glitches.